House File Number 670, number 2 on the calendar for the day, an act relating to capital investment, the second engrossment.
To the author of the bill, the gentleman from Hennepin County, Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House File 670 is the second portion of the bonding proposal that we have been working on with Representative Erdahl as part of the budgetary framework from the 2022 bonding bill.
There are amendments at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Lee moves to amend House File Number 670, the second engrossment. The amendment is coded A5.
Chairman Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The A5 amendment is just a technical corrections to work on the wrong cross-reference.
Discussion to the amendment. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The motion prevails. There is an amendment at the desk.
Erdahl moves to amend House File Number 670, the second engrossment as amended. The amendment is coded A23-0050.
The gentleman from Meeker, Lead Erdahl.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. This amendment adds in $185 million in Republican projects that were not in the bill before.
Discussion to the amendment. Representative New, Brindley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask for a roll call on the amendment.
Roll call has been requested. Are there 15 hands? Seeing 15 hands, there will be a roll call. Representative New, Brindley. Discussion to the Erdahl amendment. The clerk will take the roll on the amendment.
This was a secondary amendment to this amendment.
The one we just did.
Yeah, he passed. There's a secondary amendment to this one.
The clerk will call the remote voters.
Keeler.
Keeler votes aye.
Keeler votes aye. Censor Murrah.
Censor Murrah votes aye.
Censor Murrah votes aye.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 126 ayes and 8 nays, the amendment is adopted. Majority Leader Long.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the vote on the A23-005 be reconsidered.
Representative Long moves that this vote be reconsidered. Discussion.
We didn't do the amendment.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. We now have, the motion prevails. We now have, the clerk will report the amendment.
Erdahl moves to amend House File Number 670, the second Grossman. The amendment again is A23-0050.
Representative Erdahl moves the amendment. Representative New Brindley? Roll call. Okay. We now have an amendment to the amendment.
Igo moves to amend the Erdahl amendment to House File Number 670, the second engrossment. The amendment to the amendment is coded A7.
Representative Igo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is just a technical amendment that, after working with state agencies and MMB, we need to put this on the bill today to make sure that we're going to be able to use the funds required for the necessary project, one being the Canisteo Rising Pit Waters project, to make sure that pit waters are contained and remediated so that we don't see any damage done to the surrounding communities. So we appreciate a green vote on all this. Thank you.
Any discussion on the amendment to the amendment? Chair Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I urge a green vote. This is, like Representative Igo said, a request of the DNR.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The motion prevails. The amendment is amended. We now have the amendment as amendment before us. We have the Erdahl amendment as amended. Representative New Brindley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is there still a roll call in place then on the underlying amendment? If not, I'd like to request one.
Representative New Brindley requests a roll call. Are there 15 hands? Seeing 15 hands, there will be a roll call. Further discussion, Chair Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I encourage a green vote on this. This is the House Minority Caucus portion of the general fund.
Any further discussion to the amendment as amended? The clerk will take the roll. The clerk will call the remote members.
Keeler.
Keeler votes aye.
Keeler votes aye. Censor Murrah.
Censor Murrah votes aye.
Censor Murrah votes aye.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 125 ayes and 9 nays, the amendment as amendment is adopted. Seeing no further amendments, the clerk will give the bill its third reading.
Third reading, House File Number 670, as amended.
Third reading. Discussion. Chair Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. Often when we go on tours across the state to visit projects applying for capital investment, we also get to see projects from years past that have benefited from the legislature lending a hand to help communities build what they need. It's always a treat to see the products of past bills, not just the little bricks and mortars, but the Minnesotans that now benefit from these projects every day. In this bill, we're making concentrated efforts to ensure all Minnesotans can see their state invest in them and their community. Up until recent year, it hasn't been much of a focus of these bills to ensure communities of color, indigenous Minnesotans, and other communities to see and that they are prioritized in our bill. And so it was in 2020 that Chair Murphy prioritized in the 2020 October bonding bill $30 million that was dedicated towards equity, towards projects for Minnesotans that too often see the kind of infrastructure passing them by. Members, we build upon the success with this bill, and looking at the diverse and inclusive legislature that we have with us today, I'm excited to do even more for the future. Members, this is a good bill. I encourage your green vote.
Further discussion? The clerk will take the roll on the bill as amended. Mr. Chief Clerk, forget everything I just said. Representative Niska.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to speak on behalf of some homes in my district that have been, frankly, held hostage by the political process. There are 50 homes in the Red Oaks neighborhood in Andover that in mid-2020, this neighborhood, which is trapped between two environmental disaster areas, a landfill and a Superfund site, their homes, their wells tested for dioxin, and we have too long not provided them the funds that they need, that the MPCA supports them for them to get them hooked up to city water. Today, we're taking a step forward on that, and I thank you for that. It was the first bill I presented. I chief authored here. It's my top priority to get those folks hooked up to city water. They've been unable to use their wells. They've had to use bottled water. They've been told they can't shower. They've been told they shouldn't swallow the water if they do brush their teeth using their water. And so to free them from the way that they have been, frankly, mistreated in the political process, I'm going to vote yes for this bill. Thank you.
Representative Weigel. Is there any further discussion? The clerk will take the roll on the bill as amended. Members who have not voted, please vote. Okay, so I got. The clerk will call on those members voting remotely.
Keeler.
Keeler votes aye.
Keeler votes aye. Censor Murrah.
Censor Murrah votes aye.
Censor Murrah votes aye.
Clerk will close the roll. There being 98 ayes and 36 nays, the bill as amended is passed in its title agreed to.